I wanted to have a conversation with you today because there is just something that's been really present. And because I work with so many people and I get to witness so many things, there are these times that patterns really come to the surface. And whenever I notice these really clear patterns, I always like to share about what I'm seeing because I think it helps us get insights about how we can improve our experience and how we can really deepen the work. What we're going to talk about is the differences that I see in people where the work is really working for them and the people that I see where they just feel like they're spinning the wheels and not getting the result that they want. So, I'm so happy that you're here joining me today. So, going into this thing that inevitably comes up when I work with people is there will often become these moments where people say, it's not working, or most of my clients are too smart to say that to me. What they'll say is, it's not coming fast enough. It's not coming. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. Where is it? I'm doing the work. I'm aligning. I'm living from the wish fulfilled, goal achieved self, but it's not happening. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And what I've noticed is that these clients always, always, always have a much slower experience than this other set of clients that I have. And I've really been observing and detailing the differences that I see between the two. And the ones where they just manifest the most incredible things, really throw themselves into the work and live it. But beyond that, they get to this place, and this really is the key where it moves out of being this transactional nature. Because I'm going to be totally honest with you, my experience with this work has evolved so much. It started with hypnotherapy and trauma work, and then moved more into like coaching and success mindset. And then have really started to honor more deeply my spiritual journey. And just based on where I was in life, there were things that I wanted to do. I was wanted to grow my business and be able to make more money. So it was kind of like manifesting phase. But there's been this huge transition in the last year where I really, the thing that I care about the most and that I honor the most is my own spiritual journey. Beyond anything else, I'm not interested in doing things to get something. I'm not interested in trying to manipulate the internet or universal laws in order to get something, in order to make more money. It really, for me, is about developing this deep and sacred relationship with spirit, with my highest self and my intuition, and exploring my gifts, exploring like my purpose, and really uncovering what it means to be Michael, this divine soul fully expressed. And I didn't do this for any reason. I didn't do this to get something. I didn't do this because I thought it would work and it would like double my income or anything like that. I did it because it's how I wanted to live. I did it because I felt the hollowness of so many external things starting to fall away. And I went, this is where wealth is. This is where peace is. This is where love is. This is where prosperity is. It's inside. It's this inner journey. And as a byproduct of that, my life in the last year, really in the last 6 months, has changed beyond recognition. So much has come. I have no idea how a lot of it even really happened. I have been living from this place where I just will kind of like think of something or intend something or like, wouldn't it be great? And it'll just pop into my experience. Those of you that follow me on social media know I've been the least active probably ever on social media. I let go of my marketing team, which is a whole other thing that I'll talk about. But it really has been just living from this place of highest love and highest truth. And yeah, there's just so many different beautiful opportunities, beautiful experiences. I moved to a new city. I've moved into a new home, which I'm going to be sharing more of as well. And I've seen that in my clients as well. They've been such incredible people coming into my world. I've had new friendships, new connections, just so many things that I have desired from life have just come in with almost no effort, but really living from this place. And this is what I see in my clients as well, is the ones that kind of put down the measurement of I'm doing this work so that I can get something. I'm doing this work to get a result. And there's no shame in that. I think this is a part of the evolution that we all go through. But I ask you, what would it look like if you lived this work, not because you think it's going to work, not because you think you're going to get something, but because it's who you decide to be, because it's who you decide that you are. And when we do this, something extraordinary happens because it helps us clean up a lot of these lower vibrational things that come in. So I didn't have slides ready to prepare today, but I'll just tell you. So if we look at I really like looking at vibration through the Hawkins scale of consciousness because it gives us a map. There's so many people talking about frequency. There's so many people talking about vibration, and so many of those conversations have become so abstract that it's like they're not even mapped to anything. We really need to be able to bring things back to what is this that we're actually talking about. And so a lot of the times when we're doing higher spiritual work or we're doing manifesting or we're trying to work with energy and the universal laws in order to get something, we're still moving from this place of desire, and it's really desire from lack. So desire is lower on the Hawkins scale of consciousness. It's even lower than anger, I believe. And this is a lower vibrational state. So we're really bad, and this isn't always true because there is a higher state of desire, but we tend to be really bad at looking at what we want and not immediately noticing how it's not there. I want this money, I notice how it's not there. I want this thing, I notice how it's not there. I want a partner. I notice every day how it's not here in my experience. And so a lot of the times when we're trying to manifest or we're focusing on what we desire, we're actually activating a vibration of lack because it comes from this place of like, I need it, it's not here. I need it, it's not here. And once you bring that into the work, this sacred, beautiful work about becoming who it is that you truly fully expressed on this planet, the second you take that exquisite, divine, immeasurably valuable work and you make it about what you're getting or not getting, you're taking something that is so high vibrational and sacred and exquisite, and you're just collapsing it into this lower thing. It's like you're befouling it. And it's really difficult to hold both of those things. And of course, the fear that comes up is people think if I let go of the desire, if I release the intensity with which I'm gripping my desire, then I might never have it. And I need to have it. And that's the problem. It's that clenching, it's that need that comes in. Now, I will also acknowledge that when we get too far into the spiritual surrender paradigm, we sometimes are misinterpreting teachings, and we are, in the name of trust and surrender, we are pacifying ourselves into not having our desires. So we're not from this loving, self-empowered place, the desire for what we want from this beautiful, healthy place of non-attachment. What we're doing is settling. So a lot of people do this. I either hold the desire with this clench. It's like, I need it. It's not here. I need it. I want it. I need it. Or we release and we go, oh, I'm just grateful for what is. I surrender. And we lower our standard and we talk ourselves down. We don't still hold the energy for the thing. We've got to be able to hold both in some way. But what really helps us move beyond that is getting out of this transactional nature. And so going, I'm choosing to live this way. I'm choosing to be this version of myself because this is who I've chosen to be. And this is how I've chosen to live, not so that I can manipulate these laws to try and get something for myself. The other vibration that we fall into a lot of the time that's not helpful, and this gets really tricky, is we fall into the vibration of pride. So pride sits just below the threshold of there's this threshold for where we have downward life force draining negative momentum, and we're creating, when we're living from this place, we're going to be creating downward spiraling negative momentum. And there's this threshold, and once we're over the threshold, we're in the upward spiral. And so we're going to have life enhancing, positive, upward spiraling momentum. And pride is just before that threshold. And a lot of people confuse pride with power. I even see in the transformation industry a lot of people talking about power as though they're talking about exalted power, which is a state of being where we are truly empowered and expressed from our highest, most authentic self. And the highest states in that are going to be peace, love, joy, and enlightenment. But people are talking as though they're talking about that power, this true exalted power, but they're actually talking about it in the vibration of pride. So it'll bring in hierarchy, it'll bring in judgment. We'll talk about setting standards from the energy of cutting people off. And you can feel this sort of this judgmental energy, this kind of subtle hierarchy that really severs us from this truth. And so when we go into this place of confusing power and pride, we're also going to be lowering our vibration. We're going to be keeping ourselves from truly dancing in that place and in that state of being in which we're really going to be able to manifest and create from an incredible place. So, where does this take us? So, okay, so a lot of the time the question then becomes, well, if I'm not going to focus on the thing, what am I going to focus on? Right? People are like, well, I'm doing the work because I really want this thing. I really want this thing. I have this desire. I want this money. I want this thing to manifest in my reality. I'm fixated on it. You're telling me not to fixate on anymore. What should I do? And this is where I really recommend that we develop an energetic practice. So energetic self-mastery for me has been it's like the number one thing. It's tied with the mind, but it supersedes the mind. If I had to choose between the mind and energy, I would choose energy, but I don't have to choose, so I like to work with both. But a lot of us have really tried to do this mental work, and especially when it comes to this place of desiring from lack or trying to manifest something, it's like we've beat the thing to death. I see this with clients all the time. It's like I don't even want to have a conversation with them anymore about money or whatever the thing that they want because they've spent so much time focusing on that thing from a place of lack, from a place of separation, from this place of distortion, that every time they talk about it and every time they bring it up, they go back into this old paradigm. So a lot of the time, the easier path is going to be actually just to do energy work, to just work on your vibration as a whole. And I think this too is often a very abstract concept. Again, there's so many people talking about frequency, there's so many people talking about energy. I've spent literally a year of my life in spaces of people that were talking about all of these things, but never actually like gave any kind of practical tools and breakdowns. And so if you know me, you know that I'm all about tools, I'm all about breakdowns, I'm all about measurable progress and forward momentum. So you want to ask yourself, am I really committed to this? Like, am I really choosing to live this work, or am I just treating it like it's a game? And a lot of people do this, right? A lot of people enter the personal development world. We get this information high. We go, oh, the mind, oh, the subconscious, oh, energy, oh, universal law. That's neat that I know that. And then we go about our life spending most of the time doing everything the same way. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you if it's just something you think about and tune into and buy programs and go in and get an information high, but then you go back to your life operating the same way every single day. You have to change who you are. You have to change your habitual self. You have to change your habitual self-talk, your habitual way of being and your energy. You've really got to shift your home frequency, your home vibration, wherever it is, especially if it's below that threshold. We've got to viscerally move and shift this energy. I just got like a little activation in my body. I don't know what that was. So yeah, so if you haven't, I'm not going to go into too much detail with this today, but I definitely have meditations on my YouTube channel that you can listen to help with this. Obviously on my podcast frequency, I talk a lot about vibration. I'm going to be talking more about the mechanics coming up. I do have an offer coming up soon because it is Lionsgate and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I have an offer coming up where I've opened the doors where you can come in and join us for the month of August. And I'm going to be doing two master classes about universal laws and vibration, and specifically going to be giving you a new library of energy tools, which is how we do the energetic mastery stuff, how we actually learn on a daily basis to shift our energy and vibration and yeah, raise our vibration and become more the masters of our frequencies. That's coming up soon, but I want to talk about Lionsgate. So Astrologically, we just went through an intense winter. There was a lot of karmic things coming up, a lot of challenges. And then we moved through July. There was a lot of identity stuff coming up. I feel like the theme for July was identity alchemy. So a lot of people may have experienced relationships falling away, personal platonic relationships falling away in June and July, and also this old self. So a lot of July was about old self reemergences, old self energy coming up to be loved and integrated. So our pattern usually, there's a lot of information in this video, so hopefully it's I'm not jumping around too much. But there's a lot of the times when we're trying to heal or we're trying to grow, or we're trying to better ourselves, we're trying to escape from some part of ourselves. So there's this part of me that's this way, and I go, I want to grow out of this. So we take this leap forward and we try to escape from that part. We very often try to push it away. We go, no, that's not me. I don't want to be like that anymore. But the more we push parts of ourselves away, the more that they linger in the shadows. They control us from the shadows. Your self sabotaging, self soothing, unconscious behaviors that are not in alignment with your highest desire, they come from the parts of yourself that you've pushed into the shadows, that you've integrated. And so if you want to truly grow and become a greater version of yourself, you've got to love and integrate those parts. So you've literally got to sit eye to eye with the parts of you that you like the least, the parts of you think, no, no, I'm that part of me can never sit the light of you, but be able to look at that part of you and go, you are worthy and deserving of my love. You are part of me and you are worthy and deserving of my love. And this is where fear comes up and people go, but I don't want that part. I want to be away from that part. I don't want to love that part. No, it's paradoxical to the mind. It doesn't make sense to the mind. The mind does not help us govern these inner world things. We need to love all the parts of ourselves. That's what's going to help us come into more integration and more wholeness and really heal and transcend those parts because we're not really leaving them behind. They're just moving into a higher octave, a higher frequency as a part of the whole with us. So July was really about identity alchemy. So we got to like stew. I see it like almost like in the laboratory, working on refining this version of ourselves. And then August, the sun moves into Leo, which is all about our warmth and charisma and gregariousness. And the shadow can be validation seeking and performative energy. But the exalted expression is us in our most authentic, shining our light fully expressed. And so through this identity alchemy and all these challenges and up levels that we've been going through the last year, there's a new version of ourselves that's already been born. It might be kind of like a seed inside, but now is the time to bring that forward. Now is the time to really shine your light. And the fall is always an amazing time as well for work. So we transition from Leo into Virgo, and Virgo is all about service. And if you have really tracked this in your business owner or any kind of like service-based provider, the fall is such an incredible time, right? It's Q3. There's usually a huge boost in sales if you're on it and you're ready. And so this Leo energy is the beginning of this tunnel that takes us through into the end of the year. And there's this real invitation to be so not just fully expressed in your home energy, but to be sharing that energy with the world more beautifully, more authentically, more fully than you might have in the past, letting go of places that you're shrinking your energy, letting go of places that you're playing small and being fully you, claiming what you truly desire, not from this place of clenching, not from this place of lack, but this place of who I really am. And that's what really takes me to this work. It's like the idea of needing to fixate on getting the things that you want actually comes from this place of fear and mistrust. Because if you believe what we know to be true from spiritual law, which is that abundance is the truth, abundance is your birthright, abundance is the truth. And so you ask yourself this, do you truly believe that you can be a fully expressed being on this planet, in this time space reality, fully expressed as who you truly are, your highest self to your highest potential, and not be living a life that you love, where you're so supported, where you have so much resource, where you have so much love? Of course not. It's insane to think that you can't be a fully expressed soul living your purpose and sharing your gifts and not. It's not just having, it's living this life that is so full in every way. It's ludicrous. And so that's what this time is about, is moving into the full expression about that. When I talk about the work not being about getting, this is what it's about. It's not about getting, it's about being. It's about being who you really are, fully and wholly, sacredly expressed, and allowing yourself to explore more and more of what that means. And you'll see different things will come up. Some of them will come in. Some of the things will be the things you want. Some of the things will be so unexpected, but it will be better. You living your highest truth, your highest expression, what comes into your reality, what manifests as a byproduct of you being that fully authentically expressed self, will be better than anything your mind could have ever come up with, that anything you could have ever planned or strategized, because it's the truth. It's the truth of who you are made manifest through you as you. The things are simply the byproduct of the expression of who you're being. And so in August, in addition to having this beautiful Leo energy where we're shining our light and we get to show up and illuminate the world with who we are, we also have the Lionsgate portal on 8/8, which is, many of you already know, this incredible time that's often attributed to manifestation. The Egyptians were really invested in this time and in this placement. It's when the star Sirius, which is often considered the spiritual sun, is on the horizon, and there's it's kind of like there's magic in the air. It's like there's the everything always the manifestation process is this continual translation process of energetic, mental, material. Everything is energetic and then mental and material. So we tune into things energetically. That's part of why our frequency and vibration is so important. We shape them with our thoughts. So we're tuning into a reality that we want, shaping that energy with thought. And then we see that in material. Just like, I know this is the example everyone uses every time, but I'm going to say it. It's just like the iPhone was an idea and then it became a reality. And now I can hold it in my hand. The same is true for all of these things that are being created. So, energetic, mental, material. So, during Lionsgate, it's like that process is accelerated. And it's kind of like there's this extra boost that's coming through the energetic realms. And when we know how we can tap into that and really channel it through, and this is traditionally used again for manifestation, but through this conversation, I hope you're hearing what I'm sharing. And I want to reframe that this Lionsgate energy isn't just about getting something in my reality. Anytime we focus on just getting something in our reality, we can get the thing, but we're not going to sustain that level of result unless we really truly change who we are. And so what I invite you into is using this August time, using this Leo energy, using this Lionsgate energy to be more fully expressed as you are, to bring more of your highest self, your truth, your authentic expression, your light, the essence of your soul, of your highest self and expression through into your 3D reality and start living it more deeply each and every day. That is how I'm using this August, this Leo and Lionsgate energy. That's how we're using it in my world. And again, I don't normally open the doors for things like this, but I felt like I wanted to share this. So I have put together an offer where you can join us with this in my world. The offer is called Energy Mechanics, the Lions Corridor. And there you can join us on Friday for our live Lionsgate transmission, where we're going to be bringing that energy down and through, really activating that and helping your body hold and stabilize that energy. There's also going to be guidance around what to do with that, with the ceremony. There's going to be 2 masterclasses in August about universal laws and energy. So this is a really big thing. I like to call them universal mechanics. There are all of these different laws that work together. If you can imagine like the gears inside a clock, and they're all working together and they create these universal mechanics. And when we truly call things in, when we truly start to shift our frequency and start to become a different version of ourselves, there are all of these mechanics at play. And a lot of the time we've led to believe I'm going to manifest something, or I'm going to shift my energy. And I'm just going to get what I want. It's going to be great. And sometimes that does happen. But a lot of the time, there are different things that come through the law of opposites, through the law of vibration, through the law of, oh my God, there's so many laws and none of them are coming to my mind. But there's so many laws, there's so many different mechanics kind of at play all together. And there's so many different things that can happen. And what I see is when we don't understand these mechanics, a lot of times people are calling something in, they're calling something in, and it's actually coming. You can see if you understand how to decode your reality, you can see it's actually coming. But because we don't understand those universal mechanics, those universal laws, people think, oh, this bad thing happened. I'm going in the wrong direction. I definitely can't have what I want. And people get, they lose it. They wobble and we lose it. And it's really sad. And I watch people go in and out of this, in and out of this, in and out of this. And I have been perfecting, like perfecting my ability to one, really understand these and decode them, and two, guide people through them for the last, I don't know, like seems like a long time now. And like, oof, I'm getting so good at it. The people that walk with me really closely, my private clients and my mastermind clients inside Lux Familia, we create such incredible things. And we've gotten so good at identifying these mechanics when they're coming up and working with them so that instead of getting like sidetracked or thinking something's going, because a lot of times when we raise our vibration, something comes in our reality that we don't like. We get fixated on that. We go back down. Then we get excited again. We raise our vibration. Something comes into our reality we don't like. We get fixated on that. It takes us down. We have to understand the mechanics at play so we can hold the energy. We have to normalize that next frequency. We have to normalize that next version of ourselves, that next identity, so that we're not constantly going back and forth. When you understand how to actually raise your vibration and the universal mechanics and how they all work together, that is when you can truly create powerful, rapid transformation in your life. And again, I don't want you to fixate on this from a point of getting. I want to talk about it from a place of being, from being this fully, authentically expressed soul and who you truly are. And so this is what this August offer, it's called Energy Mechanics Alliance Corridor. So I'm going to be teaching you the energy tools, the daily practices. You're going to get a whole library. It's going to be in a private podcast. So it's going to be super easy to access in your phone. You're going to get to keep it forever. I'm also going to add to it some things in the fall that I'll create. Will also add to it. So there'll be some bonuses in the library. You're going to get the Universal Laws Masterclasses, and you're going to get 2 activations. You're going to get the learning and how to do it, and then you're going to get the ceremony for Lionsgate. We're going to bring through so much of that energy and use this astrological event to help just activate you with more energy into a new frequency. And then also, we're going to be doing a ceremony for the Virgo new moon later in August. Because as I said, there's all this Leo energy, which we get to shine and activate. And then when we transition to Virgo, there's this opportunity to funnel it into service. And for a lot of us, through service is where that's going to come back in remuneration through the law of compensation, right? So that is what we're doing. That is the offer for August. This is happening inside my world, and you are welcome to join us for August. And that link is in my bio, in my like Linktree thing, and it's 777 for that. So if you are interested and you need the link, you can send me a message. Just looking at the comments. Hello, hello, Katie. Hello, Alice. They're saying I look fabulous. Thank you so much. I just got my hair cut today. Hello, hello. Those of you that are on Instagram, so glad you're here. Okay. I think I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. So energy mechanics is coming up. It's going to be amazing. We start this Friday, obviously, as it is the Lionsgate portal. And then the biggest thing is I just encourage you, if there's something that you're focused on creating, if there's something you're focused on manifesting, can you get out of the energy of getting? Whatever you're doing, whatever practices you're doing, if you're doing it to get, you're taking that practice out of sacred and into a lower vibration. So if you're practicing being more grateful, if you're practicing being more loving, if you're practicing kindness, if you're practicing compassion, if you're practicing, I don't know, like living in the vision of the goal achieved self, can you stop? Can you let go of the energy of doing it in order to get? And can you move into the energy of this is who I am? I'm not doing this as a transaction. I'm not doing this to manipulate the universe. I'm not doing this to try and get something. I'm doing this because I, Michael Edwards, your name, this is who I've chosen to be. This is how I've chosen to walk in life. And I won't have anything less than that. In fact, I'm not willing to sacrifice the frequency, the essence, the quality of beingness of who I am for stuff. anymore. Our whole life, we've been conditioned through bullshit, through advertising, that we need things outside of ourselves to make us happy. It's not true. It's all an inner game, an inside job. And when you let go of needing to get things to feel fulfilled, to feel happy, and you start walking the path that you want to walk, being who you are and letting your light shine as you're fully expressed, beautiful, wonderful things will flow into your experience. But don't do it to get those things. Do it because you want to live fully expressed as who you truly are. My camera's been flashing like low battery for like a while now. I'm amazed that it stayed on, but so grateful as well. We manifested that. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today. Let me know if you enjoyed this. I love, love, love seeing your comments. It also helps boost the algorithm. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, please share it with them. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Michael Edwards. I'm sending you so much love and bye for now. Bye, everyone.